Hi, right, I'm doing this mixed ability Pilates class live now. So just before we start, I just wanted to have a quick show you what props I've got. So we're going to do mixed ability Pilates. We're going to be using a belt. So I've got my dressing gown belt, a couple of cans as hand weights, a small towel, and a couple of pillows if needs be, and we've got our mat area. We need enough room so that we can swing a couple of cats. And so just a quick disclaimer, if you feel you've got to exercise responsibly and safely. So if we're self-isolating and you're on your own, you might want to make sure that you've got a phone nearby just in case anything happens, especially if you're on your own. If you feel unwell or dizzy or sick or feel any discomfort or pain at all during the exercises, then stop. Stop what's causing that issue. We want to be focusing more on maintaining mobility. We're not looking to gain a lot of strength and stuff like that at this moment in time. So we're just maintaining mobility, flexibility, and strength. So just work at the level that works for you. So we're going to make a start. So I hope you can hear me okay. Please put comments in. Any feedback is gratefully received. Okay, and this is the first time I've done live on YouTube, so I hope that it's working okay. So again, let me know if there's anything that I could improve on. Get a piece of kit or something. I've got a microphone. Anyway, I'll stop waffling now. Nice and tall. We're going to have feet together. So open up those toes like a ballerina, followed by your heels. And we want to find that our feet are parallel, hip distance apart. So a nice pull in through the tummy as we engage through the center, and gently roll onto the balls of the feet and back onto your heels. So this is that moment when we're just going to let everything else go. We're going to think about how your body is feeling, because Pilates is all about that concentration. We're trying to be precise with our movements and controlled. So you've got to think about what you're doing. Make that nice connection. So we're going to take the weight over onto one side. And again, we're just shifting that balance, feeling that connection between the mind and the body. So taking nice deep breaths in through the nose for a count of 4. And then we exhale through the mouth for a count of 4. Let's bring the weight evenly now back to the center, so we're evenly weighted on both feet. Press down the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. So you've got a little lift through the arches of the feet. Keep the knees soft, and we'll do some pelvic tilt. So I'm going to come sideways on. So imagine that your pelvis is a bucket of water, and we tip the water out of the back of the pelvis. And then we tip the water out of the front of the pelvis. It's not a big movement. We're just working through this lower back and pelvis. The upper body, you can place your hand there and just make sure that you're not doing any movements through the upper body. So we're just working this lower part of the spine. And then we want to find that point in between both of those extremes. And that should give you your neutral spine. So we've still got the natural curves, and we're all slightly different. So some of you will have more of a curve than others. So it's about finding our neutral. So now we're going to grow nice and tall out of the crown of the head. Keep the chin parallel to the floor, and we're going to do a little bit of a chin tuck or a chin nod. By that, I mean we press the chin in towards the kind of the back of the throat. So we get a bit of a double chin going on, but you can feel that you are lengthening down the back of the neck. So not nodding the head. So it's a bit misleading when I say chin nod or chin tuck. So it's not a nod, and it's not lifting the head up to the ceiling. It's as if your chin is going along a train track and just drawing back. So that's what we want to achieve. Shoulders up towards your ears, press them behind, and then gently draw them down your back towards your heels. So this is our Pilates posture. So this is what we want to start with. So we set the body up before we move it. So let's work on engaging the core. So we're going to draw the pelvic floor up by about 30%. If you're not sure about this part, have a look at my beginners videos because I go into it in a lot of detail. So they're on my Facebook page, but I'll probably put a copy up on here. So drawing up that pelvic floor 30%. We're going to take a breath in, push the belly out. And as you exhale, we pull that belly button in towards the spine. And you can feel a sort of tightening across this lower abdomen. I'm going to do this on the side. So breathe in. The first breath in is going to be pushing that belly out. And then as you exhale, pulling that belly button in towards the spine, as if you're trying to tuck the belly button underneath your ribs. So hold it there as you breathe into the side of the rib cage. Through the nose for a count of 4. And then as you exhale, think about drawing up and drawing in so that we're engaged in that deep stabilizing muscles. That's the core. So let's do a few breaths like that, thinking about our posture, length through the spine, breathing wide into the ribs. And as you exhale, pulling in through the belly button. Close your eyes if you want so you can really focus on what you're doing. So wide into the side of the ribs, the breath goes in. Exhale, we pull in through the belly button and draw that pelvic floor up. Last breath or two. Then we're going to mobilize the body. Excellent. So mobilizing now, we take a breath in. And as you exhale, we look over one shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to look over the other shoulder. Let's change it to an ear to shoulder next. Inhale back to the center. Exhale. Try not to move through the upper body. So we're going to look at 45 degrees away and then drop the chin towards the chest as if you're looking into your armpit. And you should feel a stretch down the back of the neck to the top of the shoulder blade. Let's take a few breaths here. Every time you exhale, maybe just deepening that stretch a little bit. Back to the center. Let's look at 45 degrees to the other side and then look down into your armpit. Take this hand, try to stretch it down towards your feet, towards your heels. We'll lengthen that stretch. Last breath. Coming back to the center. So we're going to mobilize the shoulders next. So you can either do shoulder rolls like this, or we can bring fingertips and thumbs onto the shoulders and do some circles with the elbows. We're still pulling up the pelvic floor and pulling in through the belly button so that the rib cage stays nice and stable and the spine stays stable. Let's change the direction of those circles. And we're still breathing in deep through the nose and out through the mouth for a count of 4 or 5. It's nice and slow. Last one. Bring those hands down by your side. Hips are going to stay fixed facing the front of the room. It's a breath in. As you exhale, pull in through the tummy and draw yourself around. If you have any issues with osteoporosis or any conditions that mean that you can get fractures through the spine, you are going to reduce this. You're going to maybe just draw yourself around very slightly. And that's the same throughout all the exercises. You want to avoid any forward bending and any rotation. Last one. Let's free that movement up, get a bit of blood flowing, make a nice spiral from your toes to the top of your head. Then we can gently come back to that midpoint. Feet, knees and hips lined up. Pull in through the tummy. It's a breath in. As you exhale, a side bend. Inhale back to the center. Think about lengthening through the spine as you bend. So we're not just shortening down, crunching down. I want you to think about length as you bend. Let's bring the arm up and over just to deepen that stretch. So it's less of a crunch up the side of the body and more of growing up through the spine, through the crown of the head. Last one. Lovely. So we are going to keep the Pilates box. This is our Pilates box. Shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip. Keep that nice and stable while we mobilize through the hip joint. So as you shift the weight onto one leg, again, keep that Pilates box stable. We're going to do some circles. So you can either do circles on the floor like this, or you can keep the knee bent and just mobilize through that hip. Use the breath to help you. Exhale as you challenge yourself as that leg goes out to the side. Let's change the direction. Again, pulling in and pulling up, staying nice and tall. Keep the shoulders down and relaxed. We're going to do one more circle, and then we can leave that foot out behind. And we're going to keep those hips square as we lean forward. So we've got a straight diagonal line through the body. Squeeze through the bottom, pull in through the tummy as we lift and tap. So you can keep, or you can keep that leg hovered and pulse. So good squeeze through the bottom. Upper body's not moving. Shoulders are nice and wide through the collarbone. And keep your neck lined up on top of your spine. So no looking forward, as that's going to put a kink in your neck. Then we're going to bring the knee to the front and we rotate the ankle one way. And back around the other. And then gently lower down. We'll do the same on the other side. So again, thinking about keeping the Pilates box nice and stable now because we've mobilized through the spine as we do those leg circles. Oh, I went for a run yesterday. My legs are aching today. So this is going to be lovely to have a nice stretch. Hope you're all keeping well. Let's change the direction of those circles. Nice stability. Use the wall if you need to, just to balance, or you could have a chair here and hold the back of the chair maybe. Last one. And we're going to leave that leg out behind. And again, we've got that little tip forwards. Keep looking straight ahead of you, and it's a squeeze through the bottom and pull in through the tummy. Keep the shoulders and the collarbone nice and wide. And you can lengthen that leg out behind and pulse it. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's bring that knee to the front and we rotate the ankle one way and back around the other. Excellent. And lower down. Perfect. So we're going to do a balance now just to challenge ourselves. So again, just make sure you're safe. Use the wall if you need to, back of a chair, or just do it without any props. So breath in. We're going to draw up the knee. So nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Shoulders are back and relaxed. Pull up through the pelvic floor, pull in through the belly button so you're nice and stable. It will help you with your balance. Then we're going to lower that foot onto the shin, or you can have the toe onto the floor, and then we open up through the hip. So we'll take a few breaths here. And then it's a breath in. We lift the arms up towards the ceiling, really get nice and tall through the waist. Keep that height at the waist as we lower the shoulders down. And then we're going to come into an aeroplane. So arms come to shoulder height, the knee floats in front, and then we lengthen that leg out behind and gently start tipping forwards from the hip. So keep your neck aligned with your spine, keep pulling up and pulling in, lengthening through the limbs, and just come forwards as far as feels comfortable for you. And then coming back to the start point. So I'm going to do this next one from the side. So using the other leg, we're going to draw the knee up, pulling in. Shoulders are back and down, nice and tall through the crown of the head. And think about your breathing. Nice, strong center. Then we lower that foot onto the shin or the toe onto the floor and open up through the hip. We'll take a few breaths here. And it's a breath in. We rise the arms up towards the ceiling, lifting through the waist, and then we lower through the shoulder girdle only. We're going to bring hands to shoulder height, keep the shoulders down and back, knee floats forward before we float that leg out behind, and again, nice and strong in the center as we tip forwards into our aeroplane. Keep the arms wide, lengthen through the limbs, supporting leg wants to be soft. And just keep breathing. A couple of breaths. And then finishing at the start point. Lovely. So we'll come on to the mat now to do our roll downs. So thinking about your Pilates posture, nice and tall. Gently soften up those knees, make sure they're not locked out. So pull in through the tummy. Exhale to start tucking the chin. You can walk your hands down your legs if you need. And we're going to start rounding down one vertebrae at a time. Arms are nice and long and heavy. Head is nice and long and heavy. Neck is relaxed. And then just come down as far as feels comfortable for you. Try not to poke your bottom out and keep those knees soft. A breath or two at the bottom. And we're going to start restacking. So tuck that bottom under. Restack the spine. Shoulders back and down, nice and tall. Ready to go again. Breath in, exhale. So the breathing pattern while we do our roll downs is just nice even breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Restacking again. Building the spine back up one vertebrae at a time, like they're little building blocks. Shoulders back and down, nice and tall at the end, chin tuck. Ready to go again. Third roll down now. And when we're at the bottom of this one, we're just going to hang around and let those arms really draw down towards the mat. So we've got a little bit of space through the shoulder socket and just sway the arms around. Keep the body still and relaxed. You might need to hold on to your elbows or your wrists. so that gravity is going to give you a bit of space in that shoulder. And then you can nod the head as if you're saying yes, shake the head as if you're saying no. And we're going to walk forwards, come down onto the mat. So we're going to do some seated work. So before we start, let's make sure we set ourselves up. We want to have a neutral spine. So you can either have your legs out long with that nice neutral spine, or you can have them crossed if that's comfortable. If you find that you've got either tight hamstrings or you're tight in the lower back, you might find that you're a little bit slumped back. I'm going to go sideways on so you can. So this is neutral. This might be a little bit slumped. You might find it difficult. So we've got some options there. You can, if you've got one of these thick mats, like I have, then you can roll the mat up about halfway and use that to sit you up a little bit. And also, if you're on the very front edge, it will help tip your pelvis so that you can get that neutral spine. Another option, if you're very tight in the hamstrings, is, a cushion. Again, to help you, or 2 cushions if you're really tight, just to raise you up a little bit so that you can get those legs out and that neutral spine. Maybe even like some books or something, or a box. So anyway, let's move on. So let's bring our hand weights nearby as well, because we can use these if we want. And also I'm going to be using the belt or a towel or something. So just have that ready within reach. So first of all, we're going to do some spine twist, seated spine twist. So find your neutral spine. We're nice and tall, with shoulders down and back. We're going to place the thumbs on your sternum and your fingertips under your chin. So we keep that connection, and your elbows are wide. Send the elbows wide will help you draw the shoulder blades down towards the mat. Breath in, stay nice and lifted through the spine. As you exhale, pull in through the tummy and just turn as if you are a lighthouse. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale to turn to the other side. So reduce this movement, keep it really small if you have any of those issues like osteoporosis. So in, exhale. So the reason we are staying nice and strong in the center is to stay lifted here at the waist. So exhale to come away from the center. And then you can inhale back to the center as a good breathing pattern. Imagine you've got a pole through the top of your head out through the mat. And that is what you're rotating around. So be aware if you're doing any side movements. We don't want any side movements. Shoulders down and back. Exhale to come away from the center will help you engage through the center. Inhale back to the middle. Last 1 or 2. Don't collapse through the waist. If you find that you lose that connection and you're losing your form, just come back to the start. Think about setting yourself up again. Perfect. So we're going to stay seated. I'm going to come face forwards. This will be easier. So you can use some weights if you want to. Weights in the hand or no weights. Entirely up to you. Elbows are going to stay tucked into the side now. And it's a breath in. Exhale, the arms are going to open wide. This is boy, boy. Inhale back to the middle. So we're working the rotator cuff muscles here. Keep those elbows in, don't let them float out. Tuck them into the side as much as you can. We're staying nice and lifted through the spine. Tuck that chin, shoulders back and down. Exhale. Inhale back to the middle. Exhale. Neutral spine. Grow nice and tall out of the crown of the head. So we're working with the deep stabilizing muscles to keep the length through the spine while we are mobilizing through that shoulder joint. So some people have more movement than others. Draw those shoulder blades together behind you. Exhale, inhale to return. I'm not sure how many we've done, but let's do another 2. Take a break whenever you need to. Only do as many as you feel comfortable doing. Exhale, pull in through the tummy. Now we're going to straighten those arms out. Hold on to those cans. Turn the palms of your hands around to behind you. Palms back to the ceiling and fold those elbows back in. Exhale, we open up. Lifting those arms straight. Rotate to face the palms behind. Palms back to the ceiling and lower. Stay nice and tall through the spine. Nice and slow. Keep working with the breath. So we're inhaling and exhaling nice and slowly. Every time you exhale, engage through the center. Make this the last one. Keep those arms wide now, and we'll just do some little circles. Keep the spine in neutral, nice and tall. Change direction. So as we're doing these circles, keep the spine stabilized. The last one. Let's fold those arms back in and back to the center. Perfect. You can lower those weights. So we're just going to take the band now. We'll start with arms parallel, and again we're still sitting nice and tall, so we're working those stabilizing muscles. This is going to be interesting. So it's a breath in. So I want you to take a breath in. As you exhale, draw in through the tummy, and on the next inhale we're just going to lift the arms up towards the ceiling and then lower. So gently pulling on that band so that we've got a little bit of tension through the arms. Inhale as we lift. You might have the added weight of a cat. It just adds to the challenge. So keep the shoulders down and back, gently pulling on the band. Have tension in the arms, and just come up as far as you're able to. Make sure the ribs stay soft. Let's widen that band now, and we're going to bring the arms up wide. Draw the arms back as far as you're able to. Keep the rib cage soft. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Shoulders back and down. And if you're able to, just bring those arms behind you, and you're going to get a lovely stretch through the shoulder joint. So just take the arms nice and wide. Last 1 or 2. Any pain or discomfort, don't do this. Just go at one of the lower levels. Last one, stay nice and tall, keep the spine in neutral. Perfect. A little bit of a shrug, just to release those shoulders off. And we're going to come down onto the mat and do some shoulder bridging. So rolling down gently onto the mat, nice and controlled. So feet can come a little bit closer to the bottom. We've got a neutral spine, so a little gap under that lower spine, that lumbar spine. Hands resting down by your side. Do that little chin tuck so that we've got length down the back of the neck. And your heels could be underneath your knees rather than out here. So bring them in a little bit closer. Press down through those heels. Nice and strong through the center. So you're drawing the pelvic floor up and you are scooping that belly down towards the mat. So you can feel that connection in your lower abdominals. Breath in. As you exhale, start pressing down through the heels and peeling your spine away from the mat. Imagine it's like a bicycle chain and each link is a vertebrae. So we come up into our shoulder bridge. As you are pressing through your heels, it's going to help you fire up through the glutes. So now place the weight over your feet, nice and evenly. Good squeeze through the bottom. Watch the rib cage. You don't want to be arching. We're not pressing the spine up. We're keeping the spine neutral and we are softening those ribs so that they line up with the front of your hips. So breath in, really pull in through the tummy and through the pelvic floor. And we've got heel lifts as the first option. So we lift one heel off the floor, lower it down. The toes stay connected with the mat. So it's just a simple lift of the heel. The pelvis stays nice and stable. Option one. So you can carry on doing your heel lifts while you're inhaling and exhaling. Option two is a breath in. As you exhale, lift one leg up to tabletop. Try to keep the hips level. Exhale to lower. Cramp in the hamstrings is quite common in the shoulder bridge. If that happens, just come out of your shoulder bridge and straighten out that leg. Try not to drop. You can place your fingertips on your hip bones to help you feel if that is happening. So exhale, we pull in, we pull up, we lift one leg to tabletop, we pause as we inhale and exhale to lower. Try to melt the upper body into the mat. So you're nice and relaxed through the upper body. Last two or three. Heel lifts or legs to tabletop. Last two. And we're going to return the spine gently down onto the mat. Bring those knees in. Roll from side to side just to get a little massage. Feet back down onto the floor. We're going to do the 100 next. So we can use the towel underneath your head when we're in our neutral lying back position. Sometimes we might be pulled forward in the shoulders, which might make it difficult to kind of get this chin alignment of the neck. So if that's the case, you can place a rolled up towel underneath your head just to help you get that chin down towards the throat and hopefully get those shoulders a little bit more relaxed onto the mat, a bit more open across the collarbones. So with the 100, we have arm beats. So there are 5 beats while you breathe in through the nose. And then you turn your palms to face the ceiling and do 5 beats while you exhale through the mouth. Your arms are beside you. It's as if you're trying to bounce a couple of beach balls. So that is the arms. We're pulling up, we're pulling in. So we're nice and stable through the center, because if we're not stable here, you'll find that as you do those arm beats, your rib cage is bouncing all over the shop. So we don't want that. Nice pull up, pull in, keep as stable as you can. Lengthen the arms down to your heels. So that's one part, is the arm beats. Whilst you're doing those arm beats, we've got different leg positions. So choose one and stick with it. So the first option is to have one leg in tabletop. And then when we get to the halfway, you swap over to the other leg. So there's one change. Option 2 is nice pulling through the tummy, and we have both legs in tabletop for the 100, the whole of the 100. Option 2.5 is one leg extended. Have that leg as low as you can. And then halfway through you change, so one change. And then option 3 is both legs extended. And then if you are a regular Pilates exerciser and you know that you can do the upper body lift, then that is an option for you. But if you're new to it, keep your head rested on the mat, because we don't want to strain the neck. So I'm going to do both legs in tabletop. So breath in, let's bring one leg to tabletop. Fire up that core, bring the second leg. And we're going to breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Hold those knees in. So you should have been challenged to hold your spine in neutral. And when you're doing those arm beats, get a little bit of blood flowing. So that is the 100. Have a nice little hug in at the knees to release off. And then we can do a full body stretch just to lengthen out. We're going to do another shoulder bridge now, and again working with the arms. So feet flat on the floor, closer to your bottom. We're going to get rid of the block behind the head, and we could use some arm weights as we do our, again, optional arm weights, hand weights rather. So feet close to the bottom, tuck of the chin, shoulders are drawn back and down, neutral spine. Pull up, pull in, and we start pressing down through those heels, squeezing through the glutes. Coming up towards our shoulder bridge. Line up the front of the rib cage with your hips. Good, squeeze through the bottom. Let's bring those hand weights into play. So arms up towards the ceiling. Feel nice, and the shoulders are melted into the mat. The back of the head is nice and relaxed. It's a nice, strong center as we do some marching arms. So just marching those arms, nice long limbs. Keep the shoulders back and down, away from your ears. Lengthen those limbs. And as you march through the arms, try not to wobble through the body. So good, pull up and pull in through the center. And you'll keep pressing through the heels to get that nice squeeze through the bottom. Try not to let your knees flare out to the side. Think about sending your knees away from you. Keep breathing. Last one or two. Let's bring arms up towards the ceiling again. And we're going to do star arms. So one arm up, one arm down, back to the center. as you come away from the center. Inhale to return. Keep pressing down through the heels. Keep squeezing through the bottom. Keep softening through the rib cage. And keep breathing. Last one or two. Lovely. Let's bring those hands down by your side, and we're gently going to return the spine down onto the mat. Lovely. So let's do some work on the abdominals now. So feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent. Nice neutral spine. Then we're going to pull up the pelvic floor and scoop that belly down towards the mat. Arms can go a little bit wider here. And we're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, we'll bring one leg up into tabletop. Breath in, fire up the core, and bring the second leg up to tabletop. And then we're going to straighten those legs. So you might find that you have a little bit of a bend in the knees. That's fine. If you can straighten them, send them away nice and long. But they want to be up towards the ceiling. Neutral spine, so we've still got that little gap under the lower back. And we're just going to scissor, sideways scissor those legs. So out to the side, cross them over. Out to the side, cross them over. So nice long limbs, extending out from the hips. Relax through the shoulders. If you find that your chin is up towards the ceiling, place the towel underneath your head to help you get that chin tuck. You can relax through the shoulders a bit more. And then we can start lowering those legs. Keep neutral with the spine. So pulling in through the tummy. And we just scissor those legs a little bit lower. Keep breathing. And come back up to the center. And then lower. Don't do the lowering if that's too much. Just keep the legs scissoring up towards the ceiling. Long legs. Last one or two. Whew. Hold those knees in. Little roll from side to side. Perfect. So we've just got a little bit of, I thought we'd do some crisscross. So crisscross is quite a difficult exercise. I'm going to show you a low version, which would be for those who have any osteoporosis issues, and also if you notice that when you do a sort of sit-up, you have a little bit of a bulge through the tummy, that might be that you've got a separation of your abdominal muscles. So if you have that, if you know you have that, then don't do this exercise, do the low levels. So it's a nice breath in. As you exhale, we bring one leg up to tabletop, pull up, scoop that belly button down towards the spine. Next breath in, and as you exhale, we bring the second leg up to tabletop. Hands are going to come behind your head. So just interlace those fingers, the elbows are wide. So it's a breath in. The low level, we're just going to lengthen the arms out. One knee comes in, and we just reach across the body as we lengthen one leg away. Arm comes back up. Same on the other side. Very little lift. We lengthen one leg away, pull the other knee in, and we reach across the body. Level 2. We're going to bring armpit to knee and lower. Armpit to knee, not the elbow, the armpit. Exhale, pull in through the tummy, armpit to knee. Nice and slow. Last couple. Armpit to knee. Let's do one more on each side. Exhale and inhale to lower. Hold those knees in. A little bit of a roll from side to side. We're going to move on to our side lying exercise. So coming onto the side, we have a nice back edge of the mat to help you line yourself up. So your feet, hips, arm wants to go out underneath in a straight line, in that straight line, or you can bend it so it's a bit of a pillow underneath your head. If you can extend it, then we just use the towel to help line up the head and the neck. So hips are on top of each other, feet, knees, shoulders. Bring those feet to the front edge of the mat, and then we can bend that lower knee. So nice, and we've got that kind of hinge then at the hip. So we're not bent, we've just got that one angle there. Top leg comes to hip height. We're going to do side kick. So nice pull in through the tummy, stay stable through the upper body. Leg comes to hip height, so not too high. Think about drawing it down, hip height. Lengthen through the heel, and we bring that leg forwards. Kick, kick, little pulse, pulse. Then we point, and we draw that leg back just as far as we start firing up the glutes, but we don't arch through the back, so the spine stays neutral. So flex the foot, kick, kick, stretching the hamstrings, point and draw it back. Flex the foot, kick, kick, point and draw it back. Keep the hips level. Use your abdominals to stabilize through the spine and stabilize the pelvis. Kick, kick as you exhale. Inhale, draw the foot back. Exhale, kick, kick. Get that stretch down the back of the hamstrings. So we've all got different lengths of hamstrings, different flexibility. So just work with yours. You might only be able to bring your leg here and you're getting that stretch. You want to make sure that as you kick forwards that you're not crunching through the spine. So be aware of your spine in neutral. This exercise is for the hips, the ankles, the hamstrings, the glutes, not for the spine. Last couple. Last one. Perfect. So now straighten up that leg, straighten up through the body. And we're just going to do some exercise to fire up the glutes. So top leg, actually we can bend that lower leg, just gives you an extra bit of support. We don't need to worry about wobbling about. So bring that top leg to hip height again. But this time we're going to point the toe down from the hip, point the toe down, pelvis stays neutral. So if you're trying to get your knee to point down to the floor as well. So the heel is leading the way, and we're going to lift and lower. 2 and 3 and lower, and 4 and lower. Lead with the heel and lower. 6 and lower. 7 and lower. 8 and lower. Really important that you've got that rotation through the leg so that you are lifting with the heel leading. 11, 12 and lower, 13 and lower, 14, nice long limb and lower, 15 and lower, 16 and lower, 17 and lower, 18 and lower. This is killing me because I went running yesterday, and lower. Last one and lower, and lift. Let's just do 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, fabulous. Let's change ends. So that we can do the other side. So again, line the body up, arm underneath, or bend it so it's like a pillow. Place towel there, nice straight line through the body. Then we bring the legs to the front. We bend that lower leg so we've got that support. Think about the hips now. Don't want to be rolling back, so just make sure you're nicely stacked up, pulling in through the tummy. So you've got that little gap under your lower waist, and that leg comes to hip height. Top arm to support you. Lengthen that leg away. And it's the breath in, and as you exhale, we kick, point and draw back. Exhale, kick, point, draw back. Have a look and make sure that your leg is hip height, running parallel to the floor. Kick, pull in through the tummy, draw back, lengthen the leg. Kick, try not to shorten at the waist. As you draw that leg in front, you feel the stretch down the hamstrings. Exhale and inhale to draw back. Exhale, kick, pull in through the tummy, stay nice and stable. Try not to use this hand too much. As you kick forwards, use the strength of your abdominals to stop you from rolling forwards. Last couple. Lengthen that leg away. Last one. Lovely. We're going to straighten up through the body. We'll bend that lower leg again though, just to have that extra support. And we turn at the hip to point the toe down. So we're leading with the heel, and it's a lift and lower. 2 and lower. 3 and lower. Lengthen and lower. 5 and lower. Toe down and lower. 7 and lower. 8 and lower. 9 and lower. 10 and lower. 11 and lower. 12 and lower. 13 and lower. 14 and lower. Toe down and lower. 16 and lower. Long leg and lower. 18 and lower. 19 and lower. 20 and lower. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, I felt that. I really did. Excellent. Let's come on to our front lying. We're going to do swimming, because this exercise is the whole of the back of the body. Use the towel underneath your forehead so you don't squash your face into the mat. Arms are going to be overhead, palms facing down. Draw the shoulders back and down, away from your ears. So we've got the shoulder blades are stabilized. Legs are hip distance apart. And it's going to be a breath in. And as you exhale, pull up, pull in as you extend through the crown of the head. So we're now just gently elevated onto your sternum. So it's not a big lift. You can't feel any pain or discomfort in your lower back, and you've got a nice strong center. So breath in, exhale, opposite arm and leg are going to lift and lower. The Pilates box, which is your shoulders and your hips, is going to stay nice and stable. So as you lift and lower those opposite limbs, there's no twisting through the body. The spine stays neutral. The Pilates box is nice and stable. Stay nice and light on the resting arm and leg. So we can do a little bit more of a scissor action. So we're very light on the supporting leg, or we can just do those singles that we were doing before. Keep pulling in, pulling up, rest whenever you need to, and go a little bit faster if you can. Lengthen those limbs. Have a rest when you need to. And then we can come back up, pull in. Think about looking down at the mat. Last couple. So you might be just doing singles. Or you might be doing a little bit of scissoring. Let's finish up by coming up onto all fours. We're gently going to release through the spine. So stretching that spine up towards the ceiling. Tuck the bottom under, let the head hang between your arms. And we're going to go into our cow. So you drop the belly, you lift the tail, you keep the shoulders back away from your ears, and you keep looking down at the mat. And then we go back into our angry cat. Down into cow. Draw those shoulders back. Find a neutral spine, and we're going to walk those hands round to one side. And then we're going to walk those hands around to the other side. Let's come back to the middle. We're going to do thread the needle. So we place the hand across the body, lower the shoulder, bend the elbow, reach through. Back to the middle. Same on the other side. Now we're going to come down onto the mat because take the band. I want us to do a hamstring stretch. So gently lower yourself down to lie on your back with or without the block underneath your head, the towel rather. So I want you to be nice and comfortable, full body stretch, arms and legs reaching away. Gently float those arms down by your side. Nice comfortable position for a couple of breaths. I want you to grab the band, bend one leg as you place the other foot in the band, the belt or whatever it is that you've got, a towel maybe. So the bent leg can stay there as we draw this other leg in the band up towards the ceiling. So the important bit is to keep the knee straight. Otherwise you won't be getting a stretch in your hamstring. So if that means that your leg is down here, that's fine. You should be feeling the stretch in the back of your thigh. So drawing that up as far as is comfortable for you. Gentle level of tension. It shouldn't be painful. So we're getting that nice stretch. And then I want you to just relax into the mat as if you're melting into the mat. Don't press down with this supporting foot. Make sure that you're not using it to tuck your bottom up towards the ceiling. So let's take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, you might be able to pull that stretch a little bit deeper now. And again, just relax into it. Don't hold any tension through the shoulders or the neck. You can extend that bent leg. And we'll hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's swap that foot over. So bend the other leg. Nice straight leg in the band, in the belt, as you draw it up until you get that stretch. When you feel that stretch, we're going to hold it there. Relax into the mat. Don't press down on the other foot. Keep taking nice deep breaths in and out. And we're going to take a nice deep breath now. And as you exhale, we can just pull that stretch a little bit deeper now. Let's straighten up that bent leg. Keep this leg in the band nice and straight as we hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that foot so we can use that bent leg to help you come up to sitting or roll onto your side. Come up onto your knees, all fours. We're going to do one last roll up to standing. So we pop those toes under, walk the hands back, straighten up those legs, and then start restacking. Coming back up to standing. It's a nice big breath in. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Press the hips forward. And give yourselves a clap. Well done. So that was mixed ability Pilates. I'll be posting up a timetable for next week's Pilates and hopefully see you then. Thank you very much. Leave me some comments and stay safe. Okay, bye.